Hello and welcome to this video on Jetpack Compose. Today we're going to talk about layouts in Android, rows and columns as a part of layout, alignment and arrangement as properties of rows and columns in layout, and their implementation in Android. So let's start. We'll first try to understand what a layout is. So a layout in Android defines the structure and arrangement of UI components on the screen. It serves as a container that organizes these elements based on the developer's design. So within a layout, you can use tools like rows and columns to structure elements either horizontally or vertically. For instance, a row arranges components side by side, while a column stacks them vertically, making it easier to design complex interfaces in a structured and intuitive way. So in Android, row and columns are foundational layout components, especially in modern frameworks like Jetpack Compose. So what they do is they help structure UI elements within a layout. So basically, a row arranges its child components horizontally, placing them side by side. It's like a horizontal line of elements where you can control their alignment and spacing, while a column arranges its child components vertically, stacking them one on top of other. So it's basically like a vertical list where you can control how items are spaced and aligned. And together, row and column form flexibility to design layouts in an organized and efficient manner, allowing you to combine them for complex UI structures. Now, we'll understand what alignment is. Think of alignment as planning how items line up inside a row or a column. So for example, in a row, alignment can make items stick to the top, center, or bottom of the row. Similarly, in a column, alignments can make items stick to the start or left, center, or end or right. So for example, in a row, if you choose alignment.center vertically, all the items will be placed at the same height in the center of the row. Now we'll move on to arrangement. So arrangement is about how much space is between the items and where they are placed in a row or a column. Suppose you can arrange items close together, spread them out evenly, or even group them at one end. Example, in a column, if you use arrangement.space between, the items will be spread out so that the first item is at the top, the last item is at the bottom, and the rest are evenly spaced out in between. Now, we'll see the practical implementation of layouts, rows, and columns in Android using Jetpack Compose. Here, I've already created a new project and I'm going to call a main layout compose function from inside this set content function here. So I'll create this function and then add a tag, @composable for this one. Now this becomes a composable function. I'll also keep it in the preview or call it in the preview. Or what we'll do is we'll create this composable just outside the class function so that it also becomes accessible from this particular part here, main layout. Okay, so now as I code my main layout function, the render or the preview will also be shown as the same. So let's remove this. First of all, call a function called row layout. I'll also create a composable for this one. Create function and it will have a composable annotation. Now inside this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a row compose, and then I'm going to add 3 text here. So this will be row 1. The font size will be 25 SP. Similarly, I'll also add another composable called row 2 and row 3 with the same size. So as you can see, as I'm creating new rows, these particular texts are being shown in a horizontal manner as we talked about earlier. Now we can also add some modifications to these rows. So first of all, we'll add a modifier here, and then I want this to occupy the full width of my screen size. So as you see, my particular row values now occupies the full size of my screen. I'll also keep a preview screen in my preview compose here. So we'll emulate the screen of a device called Pixel 7. So system UI equals to true. Now we see that we're seeing the UI screen of a mobile phone. Okay, so fill max width occupied this particular row and showed the particular row and occupied the entire width here. We'll add one more modifier to this. We'll add a vertical alignment. Sorry, we'll add a vertical arrangement first. We'll add a vertical alignment, and this will be alignment.top. We'll also add a horizontal arrangement, and this particular arrangement will be termed as arrangement.spaced evenly. So what this does is leaves equal gap among the row values inside here, and then fills the entire horizontal part that had been occupied with this particular fill max width parameter here. Similarly, we'll also call a column layout compose from inside this one, and then we'll create this composable. Inside this, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to create a column compose and add few text here. So I can just copy the text from this part and then paste it here. I'm just going to rename this column 1, column 2, and column 3. Okay, as we see, the layout part always starts from this particular left hand side here. So we're again going to be adding some modifiers. So modifier equal to modifier dot, I want this to occupy the max width, and also I want this to occupy the max height as possible. Now in another parameter, I'm going to assign a vertical arrangement, and this will have the vertical arrangement of space around. Now my columns are spread out in my entire screen. I'll also add another parameter called horizontal alignment, and I'll try to keep it on this particular right hand side here. So this will be alignment dot end. We'll also play around with the space around and space evenly part. Again, what space evenly does is leaves equal amount of space between the column elements here. If I add some more content, the space evenly parameter will work out and then rearrange the components accordingly here. Okay, so this is all about rows and columns, and also about alignment and arrangement functions in case of layout in Jetpack Compose. So thank you for watching. If you have any problem, do comment down below and I'll try to help you out, and I'll see you in the upcoming video very soon. So stay tuned. Thank you.